Good evening, everybody. I am Nicholas Maloney, and I'm here once again to do another episode here for you. Today, we are going to explore the government shutdown, which, of course, started at midnight yesterday, and explore some of the latest developments with it. Maybe talk about which direction it's heading in and what its potential effects could be. We have this article here from Mediaite titled Unprecedented Opportunity. Trump Reveals Plan to Exploit Shutdown to Axe Democrat Agencies. This was made and put together this morning. President Donald Trump announced his intention to exploit the ongoing government shutdown to bring the axe on Democrat federal agencies on Thursday morning. I have a meeting today with Russ Vought, he of Project 2025 fame, to determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent, declared Trump in a post on Truth Social. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They are not stupid people, so maybe this is their way of wanting to quietly and quickly make America great again. President DJT. Congressional Democrats voted against a continuing resolution to fund the government earlier this week, initiating the shutdown. That's an important thing to think about. They initiated the shutdown here. They're the ones that did it, and in doing so, they may have given Trump some of what he wanted. We'll have to see how it plays out. But they initiated the shutdown. In an editorial published on Wednesday, the Washington Post warned the Democrats may have walked into a trap laid by Trump, the same one acknowledged by the president himself on Thursday. Left-wing Democrats, like the Freedom Caucus before them, enter this shutdown in a position of weakness. President Donald Trump and his budget director, Russell Vought, now have extraordinary authority to choose which agencies to close, what spending to prioritize, and even which government workers to lay off, argued the Post. Expect him to follow through in a way that maximizes pain for Democrats who will probably face pressure from their allies in government labor unions after employees are fired and others are forced to work without pay. They continued. While congressional Democrats have so far put up a mostly unified front, coalescing around a demand to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies that expire at the end of the year, that's Obamacare, Affordable Care Act subsidies that expire at the end of the year, there's no guarantee the party's resolve will last. The Post, unprecedented opportunity, Trump reveals plan to exploit shutdown to axe Democrat agencies, first appeared on media. Yeah. And we have this other argument or article here. White House says layoffs imminent with no end to shutdown in sight. This was put together later on today. This is from the BBC News. Mass layoffs of U.S. federal workers are imminent and could result in people permanently losing their job within days, the White House says, as a government shutdown continues for a second day. Now, I know, just to give my own thoughts on this for a minute, that people may lose their livelihoods because of this. And I understand that, and it sucks. At the same time, I hate to say it, but are a lot of these government workers really essential? And are they really doing what's best for the public? I'm not really convinced. Um, you know, I'm not really convinced of that. I'm not. We're going to see how it plays out and who exactly gets fired here. But maybe it'll be a net positive for the country. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. U.S. President Donald Trump has called on Republican allies to use it as an opportunity to make more lasting cuts. Yeah, we could certainly use some cuts in spending and government bureaucracy. I'm all here for that. The shutdown began on Wednesday after Republicans and Democrats in Congress failed to agree to a new spending plan. There is little sign of either side compromising, and the next vote to try and end the situation will not be held until Friday. So tomorrow, October 3rd. The Senate is currently adjourned, raising fears that the situation could drag on and threaten hundreds of thousands of jobs. When you have hundreds of thousands of people working in the government, isn't that a little concerning to you? It's a little concerning to me. What do these people all do for a living? I think it's worth asking the question. I don't know. It's a serious question. I'm asking the question. The Senate, oh yeah, here. At a White House briefing on Wednesday afternoon, Vice President J.D. Vance made a rare appearance alongside Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt to accuse opposition Democrats of playing political games. If they are so worried about the effect this is having on the American people, and they should be, what they should do is reopen the government, not complain about how we respond, he said. Leavitt, meanwhile, indicated that mass job cuts could happen before the end of the week. Pressed by reporters about time frames, she said 2 days, imminent very soon, and promised further updates. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do, Leavitt explained, adding that Democrats put us in this position. Trump previously warned that a prolonged shutdown could present him the opportunity to make irreversible cuts to Democrat things. He wrote on his Truth Social site on Wednesday evening, Republicans must use this opportunity of Democrat forced closure to clear out dead wood, waste, and fraud. Billions of dollars can be saved, and I hope that they are. His administration announced the same day that $18 billion would be withheld for infrastructure projects in New York City, the home city of the Democratic leaders in the House and Senate. Chuck Schumer is probably not very happy about that. And maybe this also has something to do with the current guy who's running for mayor there, Mamdani, I believe his name is. Um, I don't think Trump is very fond of the guy, and I'm not really that fond of the guy, given I don't live in New York City. But still, Vance's comments represent the latest dig in what has been a bitter blame game between both parties, with the top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer earlier accusing Republicans of trying to bully them into accepting a funding plan. Democrats want to secure guarantees on health care funding before they agree to a spending deal, while Republicans want to use a temporary stopgap measure to keep the government open until mid-November and fund it at current levels. Where's this healthcare going? Well, there's a lot of word and talk that it's probably going toward illegal aliens. Um, that may well be true. And if that is, then I absolutely do not want that as an American citizen. Schumer and his allies say they allowed the government to shut down in an attempt to negotiate to save healthcare benefits for lower income Americans. See, it's always about that, right? It's always about helping out the little guy. The little guy always gets screwed. So it's definitely not about that. I mean, let's just be real. They have said efforts to negotiate with Republicans over these benefits have so far been unsuccessful. Well, no wonder. Why are they boycotting negotiations? I've never witnessed this in my life, Senator Chris Murphy, a Democrat from Connecticut, said of Republicans. The matter is the government will open when Republicans get serious about it, talking to Democrats. Um, you guys are the ones that are going to have to start talking to them at this rate. Trump doesn't seem to care all that much. In fact, he might honestly like it. He's under no pressure to move. You guys are under pressure to move. Meanwhile, Republicans, who control both chambers of Congress but do not have the 60 votes needed to pass a funding bill, have said these health care benefits are not the priority. Keeping the government open is. I don't even know if I agree with that. I mean, there's a lot of people making a big deal about these shutdowns, and I'm not saying they're unimportant, but certainly the government does a lot of things I disapprove of, regardless of which administration's in power, right? If the government is shut down, that just means to me they can't send more money overseas. They can't continue to raise taxes. They can't pass nonsense legislation that screw the rest of us, right? Honestly, a shutdown's not all that bad for most people in the country. Doing nothing is oftentimes better than doing something if it means doing harm. It's not about who wins or who loses or who gets blamed in all this, Senate Majority Leader John Thune said. It's about the American people, and Democrats have taken the American people hostage in a way they think benefits them politically. Uh, Thune, I don't really, I mean, calling you a Republican's being generous, buddy, okay? Uh, I'm not really a huge fan of you, but that doesn't make anything you said um, Less true. Republicans have also argued the health care extensions Democrats are looking for will cost American taxpayers more money and were instituted to manage COVID-era complexities that no longer exist. Essential workers, such as border agents and the military, may be forced to work without pay for the time being, but government employees deemed non-essential are temporarily put on unpaid leave. In the past, these workers have then been paid retrospectively. Analysts expect this shutdown to happen on a larger scale than the last one in 2018 when Congress had passed some funding bills. They anticipate that roughly 40% of federal workers, around 750,000 people, will be put on temporary leave. 750,000. That is insane. Why do that many people work for the federal government? 750,000. And that's only 40%. So what the heck is 100%? That's very disturbing. Some workers were furloughed on Wednesday at the White House. Vance reiterated the threat of permanent layoffs of federal workers. Yeah. I mean, on Capitol Hill, there was little appetite for a deal to end the standoff on Wednesday. There was little appetite to end it today, it seems, as well, on Thursday. So it continues going forward. There's nothing to negotiate. There's nothing we can pull out of this bill to make it any leaner or cleaner than it is, Republican Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said. Another vote on the short-term funding bill proposed by Republicans is expected on Friday tomorrow. We may do another video tomorrow letting you know how that went and what the importance of it could be. But this is kind of where things lie currently, and I gotta tell you, Trump doesn't really seem all that worried about it. In fact, he may be happy about it. So right now, things appear like they are going his way, and we'll have to see how the situation develops further from here on out. I mean, if you're Trump, you just kind of dig in and do whatever right now. I mean, you're in the good spot right now. So we're gonna see how it plays out, and we'll be sure to keep you folks all updated as it progresses. Thank you all for tuning in, and have yourself a wonderful, wonderful night. And I just wanted to give a quick update on that and let you folks all know what's going on. So thanks a lot. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful night, and take care.